Is it possible to take back your energy if you have been physical a couple of times and now the partner is moving on? Hi, this is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here I help you get your orgasmic intimacy. So I want to thank Krishna for this question. This question is written under the video Energy Exchange in Relationships. This is one of the most powerful videos that I have on this channel. It's one of the videos that I personally believe contributes to a lot in understanding our sexual empowerment, our sexual energy, how the dynamics shift and flow. And this is especially valid for people who are spiritual seekers. And they are very sensitive to their sexual energy. In very grounded and plain terms, what this means is I've been physical with somebody and I've invested a lot of myself there, not just my body, but also my emotions, my thoughts, my energy somehow, my vitality. I did give it there. Everything that we do in our lives, including engaging intimately, does require a bit of our vital energy. We need to be rested and we do consume a lot of energy in these interactions. Nervous energy also. Emotional availability, like I said in one of the longest videos that I did on this channel, another one that I'm extremely proud of and that I find very, very valuable for anybody who is out there doing conscious dating, intentional dating, conscious sexuality, and intentional sexuality. And that is the topic of emotional availability, which goes back to our nervous system. We invest nervous energy in our relationships as well. Somebody who moves on super fast after an interaction probably was not very invested. Probably they were relating very superficially. And this one is important to point out simply because when one of the partner does invest more, so it's not just a physical thing and it's mindless, heartless, soulless. Some people go about sex that way, but that doesn't mean that everybody is that way. And somebody who's having a tougher time getting past that, moving on, probably was not so superficial. So probably was invested with more than just their body. Let's look now at the success rate of this. Moving on, just letting the past be the past. Depending on your emotional availability and your capacity, and this time I mean nervous capacity to process things. In some cases, some people do not get over completely somebody from their past. And I don't blame that. This is not the channel where I start to be perfectionist and judgmental. No way. Some people can still have something lingering from the past. Not because they are ill-intended, but because they don't have the resources to process something completely. Even if they go to therapy, even if they go to any other alternative thing like spiritual healing, sexual healing modalities. The thing is, no matter what you do on the outside, so no matter who you reach out to, what kind of circumstances and new places and new experiences that you expose yourself to, if for whatever reason you just do not have the nervous capacity to let go of something completely, in that situation you're probably not going to completely let go. So defining your success rate, and that may take years, okay? I'm not saying mentally define it. That's the poor way of going about it. Having an understanding that in some cases you may not get over completely somebody. Krishna, maybe this is not the case for you right now, but it's still a good idea and extremely grounded and strategic to understand there's a possibility that I may not get over completely. There's also a high possibility that you might do that, and that will take, first of all, your willingness to at least give it the best shot, the shot basically. The one shot where you let go of everything. Patience to really understand how you grow your nervous capacity, and this is where therapy is extremely valuable. And also, simply the inner resource where you love yourself more, but I truly mean more than anybody else. And this one is foreign to extremely many people. A lot of people can't be on their own. And this is translated, they don't love themselves enough to be alone and be enough on their own. This isn't a judgment, this is an observation and a reality that many people face. Why is that? Because we were never raised to be also on ourselves, on our own. We weren't raised to be self-sufficient. I'm not saying be self-sufficient our entire lives. I'm saying having periods in our lives where we actually intentionally go about being self-sufficient because we need ourselves. Romantically speaking and relating between the sexes, very few people have this innate capacity, and even fewer are actually wrapping their brains around the idea that I want to truly love myself enough that I don't engage in meaningless relationships, so I don't get a partner to fill out my void, but I actually spend time with myself. This is how you actually give it your shot, first of all. If you can't do that though, it's not to blame. To the best of your ability, focus on whatever loving yourself means for you. If you feel that you can't do this alone, it is not a shame to go to somebody. Now, I will be very honest. I know that in that part of the world, I've seen it with the people that I've interacted on all my social media. They were asking about sessions and then they didn't follow through. It's not just a coincidence. The number 2 people on my channel, viewers, after the United States, are people from India. And they have reached out in various ways, and I have seen this. They were asking about sessions and then they didn't follow through. My guess, it's a financial thing. Okay? It's not that you guys can't do it or aren't interested. You're clearly interested. Probably a financial thing, which I don't live in your country, so I don't know what the reality is like. But I'm guessing that there are people in your country that can help you. Therapists, counselors. I'm not sure if you have coaches. There have to be people there that can help you. If you feel that you can't relinquish somebody from your entire system, so emotional, psychological, and maybe even at a soul level, because you did use the word energy here, I'm guessing you're more sensitive to the stuff that isn't seen or mainstream acceptable. I do know that India and the Hindu tradition has a lot more to offer than just the physical senses. That's why I'm allowing myself to approach this topic with you like this. So there are people there who can also help you from this perspective, rooted in your culture, in your religion, so it's compatible to everything that your system, cognitive, emotional, physical, subtle, is familiar with. This does really matter. Where I live, we have the Orthodox religion, and a lot of people, when they are in these troubled times, they go to priests, and we have our own way of helping somebody heal their soul in a way. And no matter how scientific people are, they don't make fun of this. So that's why I'm pointing out to you, because you mentioned getting back your energy. For that one, go to somebody from your culture. It's important to work with somebody, especially when you're having a tougher time getting past somebody else. Give yourself a period to mourn the other person, okay? To be in grief after that, whatever you share there and however you invested there. Clearly, you're having a tougher time to move on than the other person. So clearly for you, it's required or necessary or extremely helpful and vital to mourn. Probably another thing to consider here is, because you seem to be interested to go deeper in these interactions, in the future, it's important to consider who you're engaging with and how you feel if the other person is engaging to a level at least equivalent to yours. It's important to be conscious. People who tend to go deeper do have the responsibility to really watch out who they're investing with. Because you're consuming more energy that way, it's important to be more mindful. So not rushing with somebody, I would say. People who are charming or open or courageous or joyful and so on doesn't mean they also go deep. So taking things slower is not just a great, actually, it's an excellent filter for avoiding situations like this one, which I can understand they are not pleasant, not easy to navigate. In terms of practices, because I also want to be really concrete and grounded here, it's important to also move your body. And you guys have yoga there, which, totally encourage it. It's extremely valuable. It has shown its benefits to the entire world. That's why it's the hip of the planet right now. Maybe physical exercise. I'm sure you guys also do physical exercises, like fitness stuff. Definitely available there. And also something that is extremely familiar to you, most likely, either prayer or meditation. That moment, that's where you not only heal your hurts, but you also become aware of who you are, what you've progressed to, where to move forward, okay? That's your innate ability to guide yourself in your life and through your challenges. That one is extremely important. Even if it's slow, even if there are days where you just feel like nothing is clear, nothing reveals itself, extremely important from my perspective. Another thing, also from the very grounded and palpable approach, is are there any support groups there? I'm not sure in your culture how you guys go about these situations. Do you never speak to anybody? Do you just go to one person that is reliable? Or are there satsangs? I think that one comes from the Hindu culture also. And somebody asks, there are other people who share about their stuff, they get an answer. You can feel the other person's trouble also, so you get a sense of, I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only one struggling with this topic. And if you're the one asking the question, hey Guru, I have a question, then other people around you know, okay, I'm not alone either. Look, there is somebody else who's going through something similar. Because chances are a lot of people go through exactly what you're going through. Lastly, practices. Yes. Sexuality practices are extremely important for you to still keep in touch every now and then with your pleasure. And they don't have to be extreme. A lot of people, when they hear a sex coach mentioning about practices, they're probably thinking, oh, self-pleasuring or masturbation. There's a whole wider spectrum here, and I hope that you understand that your pleasure isn't just sexual. It's important to hold on to your pleasure as much as you can. So pleasurable things, pleasurable for all your senses, and giving your body pleasure, which means that it relaxes, no cortisol, so it releases other neurotransmitters, and it is a resource for yourself. It is extremely important to treat yourself from the soul all the way to your body. I hope this helps, and just like Krishna, I hope that anybody else who's going through this, I hope that you navigate this situation as beautifully as possible for you in this time. And I wish you a happy and fulfilled intimate life.